Maruti Suzuki's People Technology presents Suzuki Connect with Navigate to Car and many other features.
Watch more, feel more. Dell.
Well, Namibia somehow huffed and puffed their way to 132 in an innings that didn't seem like it was going anywhere for a large part of it. 17 overs, they were just 102, but they picked up 30 of the last three. Ruben Truppelman with six that he'll remember for a while against Mohammad Shami. But you think India's spinners have done enough damage for their batters to see this target through from the evidence of what we've seen? We'll find out if that sound from Tom Moody, Ajit Agarkar, and Peter Borren on Maruti Suzuki presents ESPN Cricket for T20 timeout, powered by Dell. 132, Ajit. India would take that, even though that was fun at the end from some of the lower order Namibian batters.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, anytime you have to chase anything under 6 runs and over, or just over 6 runs and over, somewhere there, you'd be happy in a T20 game. Looks a good pitch, chasing is easy. India have batted well in the past couple of games, particularly their openers. So yeah, they'd be happy. The spinners were always going to be a little bit tricky for Namibia, and it proved so.
Yeah, 6 wickets between them, Ashwin and Jadeja, for just the 36 runs, Peter, against Namibia's batters. Fair to say that just couldn't handle the spin because the finger spin did damage. They did all right against the wrist spin of Rahul Chahar.
Yeah, I mean, I said it before the game. Jadeja and Ashwin, of course, class operators. The wicket looks good, yes, but it is a little bit dry, and there is just that touch of turn. And particularly Jadeja, when there is that little bit of turn, he's a tricky customer because the odd one will turn. Ashwin and Jadeja will do well against anybody. But if you never faced them before, I mean, what a challenge for Namibia, and particularly on a surface which, yeah, as I said, just had a little bit. But we saw. I said it again. I'll say it again. Before the game, I said, if you don't face them, it's very difficult. You see the way that a good example, I think, is Kane yesterday, Williamson, the way that he played Rashid Khan. He took the majority of those overs. He's obviously faced him a whole bunch of times, no problem whatsoever. If he's at the non-strikers end, you think Afghanistan have a chance in that game. These Namibian guys, they've never seen Ashwin. They've never seen his variation. They've never faced Jadeja. And so when Namibia were 33 for none and playing, Bard had played a couple of really nice shots and it looked like they were going okay, you always thought, okay, yeah, but Ashwin and Jadeja are about to come on, and that's what happened.
I guess there'll be some conversations that will be had if you're in the Indian team management, Tom, about what is the way forward and who still is part of the plan for the Indian T20 side. And I wonder whether these performances, if at all, from Ashwin and Jadeja will make a difference, or would you make judgments on them independent of it, given they've come against lesser sides?
Look, I think they all count. There's no question. The one bowler I thought missed an opportunity was Chahal. I just thought he was pretty ordinary. To be honest with you, he just seemed like he had a little bit of discipline with his approach. It was nearly like he was treating it a little bit lighter than he should have been with regards to how serious it should have been. I would have much rather seen him really try to lock in and take advantage of his 4 overs and pick up a few wickets like his 2 senior counterparts did. Both Ashwin and Jadeja were brilliant. Chahal is, I think, missed a trick because he's the one that's under pressure for his position going forward.
I wonder what you make of that, Ajit. There will be an impression after this World Cup that Ashwin and Jadeja are India's best T20 eye spinners, and Varun and Rahul Chahar perhaps are lower in the pecking order. Now, how accurate would that be, looking at the context of the performances?
I think Jadeja certainly is part of that squad because of the package that he provides, not just his bowling. Sometimes on sort of flatter surfaces, if he's the 5th bowler, can be a bit of a challenge against good batting teams, where the ball, like Peter said, as soon as it grips, then it doesn't matter what team he's playing against. With his kind of accuracy and the pace that he bowls at, he's dangerous. I think Ashwin came into this team because Washington Sundar wasn't fit. And whether these 2 performances, they certainly help, like Tom said. Whether going forward another year out from the T20 World Cup, I'm sure over the next few months, India will try different options because you quite know what you're going to get from Ashwin. Jadeja, perhaps they might give him a little bit of a break every now and then. But he seems a lot more secure than perhaps where Ashwin is at this point because of what he also provides with the bat and in the field. Probably the best all-round fielder in the world at this point. So and Rahul Chahar, I think I don't know whether he took it lightly or whether there was almost too much pressure on him that he knew that he had to bowl well in this game. But he certainly missed an opportunity because there's a lot of. I thought it was good selection because it was done before the IPL, and there was a lot of talk about how Yuzvendra Chahal should have been there and all those sorts of things. But I thought Rahul Chahar had bowled well before in the UAE, and it was a good selection. Unfortunately, and you could call it one opportunity, but it's an opportunity against perhaps one of the less stronger teams in this group, and he's missed out on that. Whether it comes back to bite him, we'll find out. Hopefully not, because I think he's still got a lot to offer. But today he's missed an opportunity.
I mean,
Just,
yes,
just
yes,
on
Tom.
that, just on that, yeah. You also need to look at where the next World Cup's being played, and to me, the better spin option would be Chahal, who didn't feature in this World Cup squad. But you need a genuine wrist spinner that can turn the ball away from the right-handers in Australia, more so than you need those wrist spinners that more rely on their wrong and that comes into the right-hander or across the left-hander. So, that's where I sort of saw the missed opportunity tonight to really stamp his impression on his position as one of the real spinning threats for India.
On that point, Tom, I think Virat Kohli had said at the time that he was a fan of spinners that had speed in the air, and that seemed to be the way to go with Rahul Chahar and Varun Chakravarti. Now, was that limited to this tournament? Is that the way to go forward in T20 cricket for you?
I think it depends on where you're playing. I think, as I touched on there in Australia, I think you definitely need more of a traditional type leg spinner. And I'm not saying that the likes of Rashid Khan aren't going to be effective, because of course they're going to be effective. But I think when you've got the option of a Chahal as a genuine leg spinner, who is also a very fine bowler in his own right, bigger grounds in Australia, I just think he is a greater threat, a wicket-taking threat, which is what you want through the middle of your innings.
All right. They've still found their way to 130 odd. I was seeing some tweets on social media too that even Namibia have managed to get past 110. I think that 110 will never go away. Amusing, just perplexing innings that it was, India against New Zealand. But 130 is still something. We've seen scores far lesser than that, Peter. Now, Ruben Trumpelman can hit a few at the end. Will he take that sort of confidence with a new ball as well?
Oh, well, if Namibia have got any chance here, he's going to have to, and it's really all up to him to swing that new ball. We've seen, of course, there's always the chat about a Rowett against the left arm swing, and so that's something to look forward to, I guess. If he can swing the ball, because as Tom said earlier, it hasn't swung a lot. And if it does swing, it's going to be the first over, and he's going to have to get it done there. But 130 against this Indian batting lineup, you'd have to say, is not going to be enough. But what Namibia have done with the bat is showed a little bit of fight there to make 130 against a really good Indian side. I think that's shown some fight, and if they can do the same with the ball, then they'll finish this tournament on a high.
Yeah, but there's a detailed analysis video actually, if you want to check it out on Cricket Phone. Rohit against left arm pace and the narrative or the perception that he's weak against it. Jared Kimber's crunched the numbers, so do have a look at that. But coming back to, they've got three left arm seamers actually to do. They're Freiling, Smith, and Trumpelman. Ajit, are we expecting India to come hard again and try and finish this off as quickly as possible, or is 130 make them bat a bit differently?
I think they'll bat the same way. I don't think they'll probably see the first couple of balls from Shami today swung, which was a lot more than what we've seen in recent times. So who knows if Namibia get a little bit of swing, it might make it a little bit more challenging. If the dew is around, it might make batting a bit easier. If these two don't get out, they will score runs very quickly, and this match will be over quickly. If Namibia can prize these two out early, might put a bit more pressure on the middle order, which they have struggled when the openers have been out early. They haven't really, for all the ability that they haven't quite done what was expected of them. So if they can pick a wicket, at least a wicket, if not both openers, that might put India under a bit more pressure, but 132 is clearly well below par.
All right, come on, Tom, give me one of them creative predictions now. When's this game going to end?
I'm sort of predicting that it's going to be about 14 overs and 4 balls.
That's all I need. That's all I need. India bowled out for 121, something like that. That's the prediction in 14.4 overs now.
No, I didn't quite get that bit out, but yeah, I think India will win this quite comfortably, but yeah, it will be well short of the 20 over mark.
All right. Well, let's hope Namibia have a nice time of it in what will be their final few hours at this T20 World Cup in 2021. India, too, all set to make the journey back home. So let's see how they finish. If they finish on a high, that'll give Virat Kohli something sweet to remember his captaincy days by, at least in the T20I format towards the end. India need 133. Join us at the end of the game on Maruti Suzuki Presents ESPN Cricket for T20 Timeout powered by Dell.
Maruti Suzuki's People Technology presents Suzuki Connect with Navigate to Car and many other features.
Watch more, feel more, Dell.